Hey everyone, I'm going to do a review of the Mexican League Player of the Month pack on eFootball. It's a nominating contract pack. There are two other nominating contract packs that just come out on eFootball. There's the J League pack from Japan. There's also an All-Rounders pack. I've done reviews of those two packs already. They're live on the channel already. There will be a fourth video, which I'll be doing after this one. I'll be looking at the match pass players in that video and also giving some recommendations on the players that I personally think are the best value for 3, 4 and 5 star contracts out of all these packs. So, let's have a look at the players you got in this pack then. We've got a lot of players. 18 players in total. We'll start with the 3 stars. We've got a bunch of 3s and 4s, and there's also a couple of 5s in here. So we'll start with González. We've got a centre midfielder. He's an orchestrator. He can play defensive mid and centre mid. He's defensively okay. Going forward, quite similar to Akiyama, I think his name is in the J League pack. The orchestrator in there. Similar, same kind of positions, and the weighting of his attributes are similar as well. So good on the ball, not great with the dribbling. Tight possession could be better, but that ball control is very good. And the low and lofted pass are excellent for a 3-star. Defensively, he could be better. The awareness and engagement, especially a bit low, but the tackling's okay. Aggression's decent. He's a bit on the slow side. As you can see, both speed and acceleration are in the 60s. So something to be mindful of. If you like your players to have a bit more pace, he might not be your cup of tea. But he's an orchestrator. He's not going to be making a lot of runs. He's not going to be running in behind the defence or anything like that. He's going to loiter around in the middle of the park, looking to playmate from deep. Stamina's not brilliant, but with that orchestrator playstyle, like I say, he's not going to do too much running, so you might get away with that. It's kind of borderline, I think. The balance will hit 80 with a decent enough game plan boost. Physical contact, not brilliant though. He's quite small as well, 173 centimetres, so he's not physically strong and he's not quick either. So be careful when you get on the ball with this guy. Don't hold on to it too long, because you can probably get knocked off the ball pretty easily. But if we look at his skills, one-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, low lofted pass, fantastic passing for a 3-star. He's also got interception and blocker. So he's got some decent skills there for his passing. For a 3-star midfielder, he's got brilliant passing, really, really good passing. Defensively, not the best attributes, but he does have interception and blocker. So I think on the whole, the one concern for me is just the pace really, but I don't think pace is that important for a player like him as an orchestrator in the middle of the park. I think you can get away with that. If it's really an issue for you, you might not like him, but if you don't mind the lack of pace in the middle of the park, I think with the qualities this guy's got, he can do a bit of defensive work with the skills and the attributes, but especially getting on the ball and playing passes, like I say, similar to Akiyama. I think that's his name. I hope I got that right, but very similar to him and the guy from Negata in the J League pack. He's just a guy who can loiter around in the middle of the park, get his foot on the ball, and pick a really, really nice pass for a 3-star player. So, yeah, bit of a lack of pace, and the stamina could be a slight issue, but apart from that, a good skill set for an orchestrator, and technically he's really, really good. He's got some fantastic passing for a 3-star. So for your Mexican League squad, when we get the Mexican League Challenge, he could be a useful one to pick up to give you an extra option in the middle of the park. For a 3-star contract, I think with that passing, definitely worth a look. And we have Briseño, Destroyer centre-back. So to be honest, this guy looks pretty solid to me for a 3-star. Defensively down here, I mean, we get some players in Player of the Week and the worldwide selection who aren't as good as this defensively. So for a 3-star card, I think this is quite impressive. Engagement is a little bit on the low side, but considering it's a 3-star, I could live with that personally. Tackling and aggression, both hitting 90 with your game plan boost. Depending on your manager, if you got one of the best managers, I think you might be able to hit 90 in the game plan with a boost on defensive awareness. He's an 87 for that. So yeah, pretty solid defensively. He's a little bit lacking in pace. He's one of these centre-backs. It's going to come down to whether you want a bit more pace in your centre-backs. I usually do, but I'm looking at most of the players in this pack as just being options for the Mexican League Challenge. There's no way I'm going to be picking out a 3-star from any pack and putting in my squad if I'm going into something like divisions or whatever and trying to compete. You know you're going to get found out, but in the Mexican League Challenge, I'm a bit more flexible. I can get, I'm a bit more willing to put someone in if they're a bit slow or if they're a bit lacking somewhere. So engagement slightly low, pace a little bit lacking, but for what he is for the Mexican League Challenge, I think he'll do right. And jumping and physical there, both pretty good as well. Heading 78 could be better, but again, with the game plan boost, you're going to hit 80 with that. And if we look at his skills, man marking, interception, blocker, you've got acrobatic clearance down there and sliding tackle. So on the ground, he's got pretty much a complete set for a centre-back. Aerial superiority as well will help him in the air. So yeah, is he missing something? Marking, blocker, I don't think he is. He could do with heading maybe, but it's not a disaster. But physically strong, good in the air, pretty strong defensively, just not the quickest, but I don't think he's disastrously slow. He is pretty bad on the ball, but he could be worse. I think all things considered, For a 3-star centre-back, especially one that you could be using in the Mexican League Challenge when that pops up, I think this guy could be really good value for a 3-star contract. Then we have Sosa, goal poacher. So, first things first, we'll rule out playing wide left. He can play left mid or a left wing, wide left forward, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think he's really got the ability to do that. He's a left footer. He's not got great crossing. If you look at his skills here, long range curler, long range shooting, through passing. So this guy's an interesting one. There's no first time shot as a centre forward, so that's a big issue. But wide on the left, there's no crossing, there's no outside curler. He's a left footer. I don't think wide left is really going to suit him, but I mean, you could play him there with his pace, the fact he's got finishing, he's decent on the ball, but yeah, I think even without first time shots, centre forward's where he's best. He's a goal poacher. He's going to look to get in behind the defence. He's not rapid, but he's got a bit of pace about him. The awareness and the finishing, 83 and 82, I'd like him to be high. But again, we're looking at 3-star players here. On the ball, he's actually reasonably tidy for a centre forward. The passing for a centre forward isn't bad. And again, when you look at the skills, he's got through passing. So yeah, long range curler and long range shooting, through passing. He's got a little bit of end product. Without first time shot, just be careful to hit your shots first time. If you ask too much of him, you might get found out. But yeah, aside from the lacking first time shot and the awareness and finishing being a bit on the low side, I think he's a reasonable all-rounder as a centre forward. For a 3-star card, he's not too bad. Then we have Contreras. We have an attacking left back. So, reasonable pace. Balance is pretty decent. Physical contact could be worse. It's not brilliant though. Stamina's pretty decent. Defensively, not the best. You're going to get to the 80 mark with a decent game plan boost on engagement. But the rest of the defence is a little bit iffy. On the ball, he doesn't look too great, but you're going to hit 80 again with a decent game plan boost. Ball control and dribbling are both going to hit 80, which is decent. And then with a low pass and lofted pass, you're going to be over 80 for both of those in your game plan with a decent boost. He can play as a centre mid or left mid. As a centre mid, low pass I don't think is high enough. As a left mid, not sure he's good enough on the ball. But we'll have a look at his skills. So not a lot there. We've got pinpoint crossing, man marking, interception. So he's not got the quantity, but I think in terms of quality of skills, he's got arguably the 3 most important ones for a left back. Pinpoint crossing is good going forward. He's got good lofted pass, and then man marking and interception defensively. He's not going to be good defensively, but they will help to compensate for those attributes not being too high. So yeah, I think we've just got another classic example of an attacking fullback who's very much an attacking fullback, but he can just about defend. If you wanted a fullback who's going to be one of these kind of, like an extra centre back, really strong defensively, he's obviously not going to be your cup of tea. But as an attacking fullback, having man marking interception will make up for his attributes a bit. He won't be too bad defensively. He does have a bit of pace, good stamina, and as we saw with pinpoint crossing in that 85 lofted pass, he's got a very good cross on him. And then on the ball, he's not too bad. I think he's probably not quite good enough to play as a left midfielder. You could get away with it. If you're really lacking options, you've already got a decent left back. You could put him on the left and just get some crosses in. But I think as an attacking left back, maybe not the strongest defensively, but with the pace, his crossing ability, you could do a lot worse. So yeah, if you like your fullbacks to be attacking for the Mexican League Challenge, again, I think this could be a reasonable card for 3 stars. And then Sepúlveda. So another goal poacher centre forward, and it's another similar one, to be honest, to the first guy we looked at. So not the quickest, but he's got a bit of pace about him. The physical and jumping aren't too bad, high 70s. Balance not so great though. Down the left, the awareness at 84, finishing 84, so slightly higher with both of those. Passing not so great, but you will hit 70 with a decent game plan boost on low pass. On the ball, a little bit dodgy. You will get over 80 in the game plan on ball control, but you're not going to want to dribble with this guy, let's be honest. With the dribbling and tight possession, pretty poor, balance pretty poor. When you get the ball with this guy, you're just going to want to get rid of it. Pick a pass, pick a shot. Heading 74, he's about 5'10", 5'11", heading 74, the jumping and physical well into the 70s. Is he going to be good in the air? He could be. Okay, so we've got heading, we've got acrobatic finishing, we've got aerial superiority. So about 5'10", 5'11", some reasonable physical and aerial stats. He's not going to be a beast in the air, he's not going to be dominant, but he is capable of getting on the end of some crosses, so that's good. Also got heel trick and outside curler, a couple of nice ones there. And then first time shot, the most important one for centre forward. Soul control as well, so yeah, an interesting one this. A bit of an all-rounder. I think really the one real drawback with this guy, he's not going to be great on the ball. When you get this guy on the ball, just be very careful not to ask too much of him, but as long as you keep it simple with him, the ball control will be decent. The awareness and finishing aren't too bad. Reasonable amount of pace about him. and he's going to be reasonable from crosses as well. He's got a decent selection of skills for a centre forward. So yeah, not one you're going to want to get on the ball with, but he's a bit of an all-rounder. He's got a bit of everything. For a 3-star contract, oh, he's a 4-star. We're on to the 4 stars now. Okay, I was going to say for a 3-star decent value. If this guy's a 4-star contract, not so sure anymore. I think that's a bit iffy. He does have a bit of everything in the Mexican League Challenge. If you're lacking options in one of these Mexican League Challenges, he could do a job for you. For a 4-star contract with the other options that we've seen and the other ones we're going to look at in this pack, maybe he's not such great value. You could do worse though, so he's okay. He's got some qualities there, but not an amazing one, certainly for a 4-star contract. Now we have Bautista. Got a creative playmaker. This is the last of our 3 stars. So he's very much an attacking midfielder. He's got centre midfield as well, but he clearly can't defend to save his life, and he's tiny. So yeah, definitely looking at this guy as an attacking midfielder. Speed and acceleration. We were looking at someone, I forget if it's this pack or the previous one, 79 for speed and acceleration. At first glance, doesn't look particularly quick, but he'll be over 80 for both of those in the game plan. So he's got a little bit of pace about him. Like I said, he's a small guy. He has no physical strength there. Stamina's poor as well. Balance isn't too bad, but you're going to have to be very careful with this guy not to get knocked off the ball. Down the left, though, he's pretty tidy on the ball. Not a dribbler, but the ball control and time possession are good. Attacking awareness is good for an attacking midfielder. Low pass is decent at 85. Finishing 79, that will go over 80 in the game plan. So let's have a look at what skills we've got here. Okay, so again, we've got the quality but not the quantity. We've only got 3, but first time shot, through passing, super sub. If you're only going to have 3 skills in an attacking midfielder, I don't think you can do a lot better than that. Those are 3 very good skills to have. So first time shot with the finishing going above 80 in the game plan is good. Through passing obviously is very important for an attacking midfielder, and a super sub as well. He's being as short as he is. I think that even though he's physically weak, he should feel pretty nimble on the ball. He's not going to be a brilliant dribbler, but he should feel okay. He does have a bit of technique and end product with his passing. I don't think this guy's a brilliant card, but for a 3-star attacking midfielder, if you like small, nimble players and you just want a playmaker in those kind of number 10 areas, getting on the ball and being able to pick out a pass, I think it'll be decent. I don't think it'll be brilliant, but again, looking at these players primarily for the Mexican League Challenge and as an option in that part of the pitch and in these challenges, I think he could be reasonable. Not a brilliant card, but for a 3-star contract, he could do worse, certainly. And now we have Dória. So, a centre-back, about 6'2", 6'3", quite tall. Left-footed build-up, don't get too many of them. Defensively, down the middle there, he's okay. He's not brilliant. We're on to all 4 stars now until we get to the last 1 or 2 who are 5 stars. So it's a 4-star card. I don't think those attributes are brilliant even for a 4-star, to be honest, especially the engagement being a bit low. He's a little bit slow again as well, just like the last centre-back we looked at. So a bit of a pace issue, but physically very strong. He's a big, strong guy. Jumping's not too bad. We'll see if he's got aerial superiority. He does. And we've got a nice selection of skills here. So we've got man marking, interception, blocker, got acrobatic clearance and sliding tackle down there, and he's got aerial superiority in the air as well. He's also got low lofted pass, which is nice. Long range shooting. So long range shooting going with 49 for finishing. I'm not sure that's going to make his shooting particularly great. But by all means, have a go with hitting some long shots with this guy. Maybe you'll get lucky. Don't know, but 70 lofted pass though with low lofted pass. Should have a reasonable pass on him for a centre-back. But yeah, he's a guy with qualities. He's a big, strong guy. Physically and aerially, pretty strong. Defensively, he's kind of okay. Good selection of skills to back the attributes up. So he's okay. He's clearly not the quickest, but he's got the strength though to compensate for that. I think it just comes down to whether you're bothered about the pace really. For a 4-star contract, on the whole, I don't think he's quite good enough for me to really be tempted by him to think he's particularly good value really. For the Mexican League Challenge, sure, he could be an option for you as a centre-back, but if you're looking at a centre-back option, I think the 3-star centre-back we just looked at is a better one than this guy. So yeah, you could do worse. He's not disastrously bad defensively, and he's not that slow either, but those are 2 areas with a slight concern. So for a 4-star contract, those 2 concerns for me would just put me off him, I think. But if you don't mind the slight lack of pace and you think his defences are okay for a 4-star, there are a lot of qualities there with him. Good selection of skills, so you could do worse. And then another centre-back. So, Magallán, another 4-star centre-back. I think this guy used to play for Monaco, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe Ajax, but yeah. Got a centre-back. Again, a lot of these centre-backs, they get low engagement on these Player of the Week and Player of the Month cards. So, decent on the whole, the tackling's good. The awareness and aggression, okay. The engagement, like I say, is a bit low. He's got nice passing for a centre-back. He's got a bit more pace about him, this guy. He's not quick, but he's not slow. Pretty average pace for a centre-back, I'd say. The jumping and physical are okay. Heading hits 80 as well. He's got inconsistent form, keep that in mind, just notice that. He's not the tallest as well. He's just shy of 6 foot, so 5'11". Physical and jumping, not too bad, pretty average. Does he have aerial superiority? He does. Okay, so he should be okay in the air. Man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit. Okay, so we've got a good selection of skills again for a centre-back. So really with this guy, I think the only real weakness is the engagement being a bit low, to be honest. I think apart from that, he's okay defensively. He's okay for pace. He's okay for jumping and physical. He's just an okay centre-back, really. I think compared to Dória, the last guy, I would probably go for this guy. I think he's just a bit more well-rounded. Again, for a 4-star contract, is he great value? I wouldn't be using this guy in divisions or anything like that. But for the Mexican League Challenge, if you got the contract and you want another option at centre-back, he certainly could be a decent one. I think he's probably the best of the centre-backs so far. But in terms of value, bearing in mind the first guy we looked at was a 3-star, I think probably about as good value as that guy, because this is a 4-star contract, obviously. But better than the last guy, Dória, certainly. Yeah, I would go for this guy. So not bad. Pretty solid centre-back. Amarilla. Probably said that wrong. So we've got another goal poacher centre-forward. Awareness okay, 85. Finishing 84. He's not bad on the ball. That ball control and tight possession. Both of those should hit 80 if you've got a decent enough game plan boost. Not a dribbler though, of course. Passing's okay for centre-forward. Heading 82, jumping and physical should both hit 80 with a game plan boost. We'll see if he's got aerial superiority. He could be good in the air, this guy. Pretty average pace. He's not slow. Kicking power's decent. So, has he got aerial superiority? He does. Okay, so we've got heading, acrobatic finishing, aerial superiority. So we've got another guy who could be decent from crosses. First time shot, heel trick, one-touch pass as well. He's got a nice selection of skills, to be honest. He's got a good set of skills for a centre-forward. So, what you got really here is a goal poacher who's a bit of an all-rounder. He's got a bit of everything. He's got reasonable pace, not the quickest, but he's not too slow either. In the air, he's not going to be a beast again. He's not going to dominate in the air, but with the skills he's got, with the jumping and physical going over 80 in the game plan, heading likewise already in the 80s, he should be decent at getting on the end of crosses. He will get you some headers, maybe some acrobatic finishes. He's tidy enough in the ball as long as you don't ask too much of him. Passing isn't too bad, especially a one-touch pass, and with the attacking awareness and finishing both in the mid-80s. He's an okay card on the whole, really. I don't see any real weakness with him. Clearly, he's not amazing in any area. This is another 4-star card. But again, looking at these players primarily as options for the Mexican League challenges, if you've got 4-star contracts, if you need a striker for those Mexican League challenges, I think it could be a solid one. He's certainly capable of scoring goals. And yeah, like I say, he's got a bit of everything. Not got a great deal of anything. He's not an outstanding player. But for a 4-star contract, I think it's a solid striker option. This guy can run very, very fast. I mean, wow. Pre-game plan boost, 99 speed, 99 acceleration. So I think it's fair to say we know from the off what this guy's strength is, what his main asset is. He's got good balance as well. He's got good dribbling as well. The ball control and tight possession aren't brilliant, but your game plan boost will take them both over 80. He's not got great attacking awareness. He's not got good passing. He's not got good finishing. This is, again, a 4-star card, so you can't expect too much. If he's going to have that absolutely insane pace and good balance in dribbling, you're going to expect he's going to be lacking a bit elsewhere. But yeah, as a whole player, that playstyle is going to be active. Left midfield, right midfield, and SS. Can play as a wide forward, left or right. He's right-footed. What skills have we got? So there's no long-range drive, no pinpoint crossing. Double touch, fit, flat, soul control. So the dribblers will be quite pleased with this guy, I reckon. Long range shooting and through passing. So we've got a bit of end product there. Excellent. So with the long range shooting and through passing, that will at least compensate slightly for the fact his passing and finishing attributes are fairly bad. I think with this guy, you've got to play to his strengths, get him on the ball and just run at defenders. And then when you get into good positions for a pass or a shot, just be careful. Don't ask too much of him. As long as you're careful, you don't ask too much with his passing and his shooting. You keep it simple when it comes to that. I think if you just play to his strengths, which is, as I say, quite clearly the fact he's insanely quick, getting on the ball with this guy and running at defenders, careful with the end product, he could be really effective. I think if he's your type of player, if you like players, wingers, and maybe even as an SS who are quick on the ball, good dribbling, a couple of skill moves, like I say there. I'm not really into the skill moves, but double touch, flip, flap, soul control. I'm pretty sure that means he gets that special double touch move, actually. One of my skill move friends might be able to confirm that. But yeah, for the dribblers, I think this guy could be really fun. Like I say, careful with his end product, but I just can't stop looking at those 299s. On a 4-star, with that playing style, if you use him left mid or right mid especially, I think this guy could be a lot of fun to use. And then we have Villalpando, classic number 10. So a month or two ago, I'd have said that's a dodgy playstyle. That would have put me off him. But with the classic number 10 playstyle having changed the way it has done, it's much more appealing now. So a classic number 10, I have done a video on the classic number 10 pack, which is out now. Do feel free to check that out if you've not already. I do briefly touch on the playstyle and how they've changed it in that video, but if you can't be asked watching that video, I'll summarize it like I did in that video because it doesn't take long. Classic number 10 now will basically play like a whole player, but with the counter target instruction. So going forward, they'll be making much more aggressive runs forward than they used to, much like a whole player. But defensively, they will do nothing. They will not track back at all. And one thing I commented on in that video, I did say that I wasn't sure yet how the classic number 10 playstyle is going to affect stamina and energy levels since the change. I have been monitoring that, and it seems that classic number 10 do not get tired. The fact that they don't track back at all really helps to preserve their stamina. So depending on whether you want your attacking players to track back, if you want them to be getting back and contributing defensively, that's not going to be the playstyle for you. But if you don't mind, if you just want the guy to stay forward and preserve his energy, it's a great playstyle now. So yeah, not a lot of pace. Again, not much of a dribbler, but ball control's good. Tight possession's okay. Passing is decent, not amazing. Finishing 78, should hit 80 with the game plan boost. Balance will get 80 with the game plan boost. Physical contact could be worse. And if we look at the skills, so again, we've got double touch, soul control, couple for the dribblers. Then we've got rising shot, long range shooting, and we've got one touch pass, through passing, outside curler. So bit of shooting, bit of passing. He's going to be tidy on the ball. Again, not got much pace. He's not great at dribbling. He's not going to be much of a dribbler, but tidy on the ball with the ball control. Passing is decent. He does have a shot on him as well. He's quite short, so he's got a low center of gravity again, 170 centimeters. So still won't be much of a dribbler, but he should feel pretty responsive on the ball. Again, I think he's just one of these guys like the last attacker maybe just looked at a few moments ago. He's not amazing. There's nothing here that really jumps out and makes me think he's going to be brilliant, but I think he should feel reasonable on the ball. He does have a bit of end product with his passing and shooting. So again, looking primarily at the Mexican League Challenge and looking at these players as an option for that. I think if you need a player in that area of the pitch as an attacking midfielder, you could do a lot worse. He's not amazing, but he's certainly not bad. He's got a bit of end product about him, pretty technically sound. You could do worse than this guy as an attacking midfielder. We have our goalkeeper. So, solid keeper, this guy. He's about 6 foot, not the tallest, and 82 is not brilliant for reach. So that's the first thing that I noticed there. That's the one kind of downside I think there's going to be to this guy. Outside of that, awareness 87 is pretty good. Catching is good at 86. Parrying 82 is okay. 85 reflexes is okay. For a player of the week or player of the month goalkeeper, 73 is amazing for jumping. Normally they get about 60 something, but yeah, still not brilliant though. So again, only about 6 foot, not the tallest for a keeper, not brilliant jumping, not great reach. Yeah, on the whole, he's an okay keeper. I think again, for the Mexican League Challenge, do you need a goalkeeper option? If you do, could be solid, could be worth picking up. It's a 4-star contract though. It comes down to how many contracts you've got. If you've got a lot of 4-star contracts spare, if you do need a goalkeeper when the Mexican League Challenge pops up, then he could be a solid one to pick up. But outside of that, as much as he's fairly solid, there's no glaring weaknesses. The fact there's a slight question mark over his height and his reach and his jumping, and the fact his reflexes aren't exactly outstanding. I think for a 4-star contract, it doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. I don't think it's a brilliant card on the whole. And then we have another attacking left back, or right back, I should say. So this guy is not 2-footed. He can play left or right back. He's right-footed. So I think this guy, even though his registered position is left back, I think we need to look at this guy as a right back. So good pace for a fullback, good balance. Physical could be worse. Stamina's good. Defensively, bit dodgy. He's lacking in aggression. Some people won't mind that too much, but defensive awareness as well, that's a bit lacking as well. And engagement isn't the best. His tackling is decent, but that's about it. So defensively, there's a big question mark over this guy. Down the left here, is he good on the ball? The dribbling's okay. That'll be over 80 with the game plan boost. Ball control and tight possession, dodgy. You're going to have to be very careful with this guy. Don't ask too much of him. Low and lofted pass are good though for fullback. That's before the game plan boost. Especially with lofted pass at 84. Are we going to see pinpoint crossing? Yes, we are. So he's got pinpoint crossing. He's going to have a good cross on him. Then defensively, man marking, interception, sliding tackle. So good selection and skills there for fullback. Very good. But those defensive skills are only going to compensate for the fact that his defensive attributes are pretty bad. So again, it's another case of a fullback where he's very much an attacking fullback. If you like your fullbacks to be defensively solid, you know, like that kind of extra centre back kind of thing, if you wanted to just stay back and just be defending primarily, then I don't think this guy is going to be someone you like. But if you like an attacking fullback, if you don't mind the fact he's a little bit weak defensively, you're more focused on his ability to get up and down the flank, left or right flank. I think right flank in this case, and especially to put crosses in. I think he could be a good one. And again, looking at the Mexican League Challenge, I think he could be one well worth picking up for that. I don't have too many right back options myself in the Mexican League, so for me personally, I'm looking at this guy thinking, okay, he can't defend, but it's a Mexican League Challenge. What the hell? I'll take a bit of a risk in that. He's got pace, he's got stamina, he's got a good cross on him. If you're like me and you don't mind the fact he's a bit defensively weak, then he could be a fun one to pick up, and he could be worth it for a 4-star contract, I think. But yeah, again, if you want you want your fullbacks to be defensively sound, maybe not for you. Paradela. So we have another attack midfielder, creative playmaker, can play left midfield, not got a great deal of pace, so I wouldn't personally play him there. Left-footed. Does he have crossing now? 82 lofted pass. He does have crossing, so if you don't mind the lack of pace in your wide men, you want to use him as like a kind of Beckham type of wide midfielder, just get crosses in. He could do a job for you, to be fair. The speed will hit 80 with a game plan boost. Lofted pass 82. Curl's going to hit 80. Pinpoint crossing. Yeah, he's got a decent crossing. He could do a job for you, but I think realistically, attack midfield is where you're going to want this guy. Creative playmaker. I wouldn't play him centre mid. He can't defend to save his life. I did see one defensive skill. He's got blocker. So we've got an attack midfielder with blocker. Nice. But yeah, I wouldn't use him centre midfield. He's not strong enough defensively. But as an attack midfielder, double touch, fit flat, cut behind, sole control. So there's a few for the dribblers. And then one touch pass, through passing and pinpoint crossing. So he's not a shooter. But with his passing, yeah, I don't know. He's very good on the ball, actually, for a 4-star. These three attributes, certainly ball control and tight possession, both going to be 90 plus in the game plan with a decent boost. Depending on your manager, I don't know if it's possible to get 3 on dribbling. It could be 90 plus in all 3, though. So, yeah, either way, though, those 3 attributes are very good. He's very good on the ball. Passing, not brilliant, though. He's all about passing if you look at his skills, and he's a creative playmaker playing as an attacking midfielder. You need a bit more on your passing, really, even on a 4-star. So, yeah, that's a bit of a big question mark for me. And to be honest, you could say, well, he is good on the ball, but if he's that good on the ball, I think really if the passing isn't great, you need a bit of pace to back that up to be able to go beyond defenders, and he doesn't really have it. The balance is okay, physical's not too bad for an attacking midfielder, but yeah, without a bit more pace than that, or at least better passing, I think you need a bit more in at least one of those areas to be able to really make this guy effective, in my opinion. So yeah, good on the ball, but beyond that, the passing isn't that great, and there's nothing else really to compensate. So yeah, decent searching skills. He is good on the ball, but he needs a bit more beyond that, and he just doesn't have it. So for me, for a 4-star contract, I'm not so keen on this guy, to be honest. And then we have another right back. So we've got Chávez. I think I might already have a version of this guy. He doesn't look that brilliant to me, to be honest. So again, another 4-star. The stamina's fantastic. So he's got one very, very strong attribute, but beyond that, physical and balance are both kind of okay. Certainly the physical's all right for a fullback. Balance could be a bit better. The pace, like I think it was Matsubala we were looking at in the J-League pack, he's not the slowest, but I'd like a bit more pace on the fullback. Defensive attributes, kind of okay on a 4-star, but still could be a bit higher. On the ball, dodgy. Don't ask too much for him. You're going to have to be very careful with this guy because he's not great on the ball. Low pass is bad as well. 72 for low pass. You don't want to be giving the ball away in fullback areas, so that's something to be mindful of as well. Lofted pass 82 though. Are we going to see pinpoint crossing again? Yes, we are. So again, we've got a decent cross on the fullback. Interception, aerial superiority, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit. So again, we've got good searching skills on the fullback. To what extent are they going to compensate though? I think, to be honest, defensively he's okay. I think with the skills he's got, you can get away with this guy defensively. Certainly better defensively than the last fullback we looked at. But he's dodgy on the ball. His low pass is terrible. For me, I think mid-70s is the absolute minimum I'd want on low pass. So there's a big question mark on his technicals apart from crossing, which will be good with the pinpoint crossing skill. But the fact he's a little bit lacking in pace as well, I think on the whole, he's at a similar level to the last right back we looked at just now. I think the last guy just had, with the pace that he had, I think I can get him out of jail. And he's a bit better on the ball, so I prefer him to this guy. This guy, for me, yes, he's got stamina, he's a bit more solid defensively, but yeah, I think it just comes down to what you prefer defensively. If you want a fullback who's a bit stronger defensively, maybe you prefer this guy over the last guy. But for me personally, the lack of pace and the lack of technicals he's not quite to my personal preferences as a fullback. So yeah, a couple of fullbacks there. Depends what you prefer, but Chávez a bit more defensively sound, and then the last guy we looked at, García, more attacking. Two options at a similar level there. I personally prefer García, but it depends what you prefer, really, what's more important to you. So Herrera, another winger, and we have another rapid player. So speed and acceleration both over 90 before you hit the game plan boost, which is great. And then again, dribbling is great, and that's going to hit 90 with a decent game plan boost. Likewise, ball control and tight possession will both be over 80, but beyond that, it's the same situation again. We've got pace, we've got dribbling, but there's not a lot more. There's not a lot of end product there. The finishing will hit 80 with the game plan boost, to be fair, though. So his finishing is actually decent. I was a bit quick to dismiss his end product, really. His finishing is decent when you get the game plan boost. He hit 80 for finishing. No shooting skills, though. He does have through passing and pinpoint crossing. He is a super sub as well. Always nice to have a super sub who's got really good pace. Run at defenders when you're trying to break your opponent down in the second half. Through passing and pinpoint crossing. Through passing is not going to really help too much. You got to remember with these skills, they don't magically make your player good at stuff. So through passing doesn't mean his through passes will be great. It means it's going to improve whatever the attribute is for low pass when he plays a through pass. And that attribute is really poor. So through passing will mean his passing is better, but it still won't be great. Be very careful with his passing. Don't ask too much of him. And then likewise with crossing, 75 lofted pass, obviously a bit higher than low pass, but it's still not great, even with pinpoint crossing. He's not going to have a great cross on him. So as a right footer, play him on the right. If you're very careful, but keep your crosses simple, they could be decent, but he's still going to be a bit iffy with that end product. Personally, I think he's better off being played on the left as a right footer, cutting inside onto his right foot, getting him into shooting positions. With that finishing hitting 80 in the game plan, he'll have a reasonable finish on him, and certainly in terms of getting into those positions in the first place, with the pace he's got, his dribbling ability, he could be an effective one. So yeah, another case of playing to his strengths, get him on the ball, run at defenders, be careful with his end product, but he does have a decent finish on him, so could be an effective one, especially as a super sub. And now we have 2 5-stars. So we start with Sergio Canales. Canales, I got the original one. He was a card, his GP card originally in eFootball was a really popular one. And if you've still got that, you're lucky. I'm lucky because he's a whole player and he's very effective. I think he's got pretty much the same positions as this one. But he's got more pace though. This guy's good still though. This is another good version of Canales. I think his passing's better. Hitting 90 for low pass before the game plan boost is obviously impressive. But he is a 5-star card though, keep in mind. We're on these last 2 cards we're looking at now. We're on to the 5 stars. So yeah, good passing. Pretty tidy on the ball. Again, not a dribbler, but the ball control and time possession are pretty good. Attacking when it's at 80 is good. You want that to be 80 plus on the whole player, which he is. Finishing 81 is good for an attacking midfielder. He's not the quickest. So again, if you're not too keen on slow players, out wide certainly that might be a concern. I think through the middle that's not going to matter. Even on a whole player, I think his pace will be okay. He'll be over 80 in the game with a game plan boost on speed. Acceleration's already in the 80s. Balance likewise, he'll hit 80 with the game plan boost. So yeah, in terms of mobility, not the quickest, not the best, but I think he's okay. Playing through the middle there. I would not play him centre midfield again. Defensively, he's weak. He can't defend and save his life. We have a quick look at his skills. There's nothing defensive there. He's very much an attacking midfielder. So a couple of skill moves for the skillers. Then we've got long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. With his finishing being over 80, he's going to have a good shot on him. One touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, outside curls, a nice one as well. So he's got some shooting and his pass and some passing. He's got end product. He's got the attributes there that really back up those skills. So yeah, you could get away with him wide right if you don't mind the pace. Depends how you play. Certainly he's got the ability to turn inside onto his left foot and get a good shot away. And goes without saying, he's got great passing as well. But I think at his best, this guy's an attacking midfielder. And as an attacking midfielder, very technically tidy. He's going to have fantastic passing on him. He's very, very well capable of creating goals for you. And with the finishing over 80, and like I say, with those shooting skills, he's got a shot on him as well. And with 80 plus for attacking awareness, the whole player playing style, as an attacking midfielder, he'll be taking up good positions as well. So yeah, for me, it's not an elite level card. And we are into the 5 stars now, like I say. But nonetheless, if you don't have a decent version of Canales, especially with this one having the whole player playing style, which might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I think most people like that playing style on attacking midfielders. If you do, and if you don't have a good version of them, like I say, I think this could be a pretty good one to pick up. But it is a 5-star, and there are quite a few 5-star options with the packs that are available at the moment. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good one. Worth considering against all the other options. I think on the whole, yeah, it's a pretty good card. and we finish up with Henry. So I've had 2 versions of Henry already. I like him. He's a good all-rounder of a centre forward. I don't think this is the best version of him. The last version I got of him is the card design was kind of black and gold. I think it was player of the season from the last season in Mexico. This one, yeah, like I said, I don't think it's quite as good, but it's not too far off. It's a similar level. And like I say, I like the guy. He's a real all-rounder. He's got a little bit of everything. So pace is okay. The jumping and physical are okay. Balance is decent. He's not brilliant on the ball. He's not a dribbler. He's not going to be great at dribbling, but the ball control's okay. I'll be getting up towards 80 with the game plan boost. Attacking awareness 84. I think he's had higher previously, but still could be worse. This is a 5-star card though. Again, we're on the 5 stars now. So when you're looking at 5-star options, even though I've really enjoyed using this guy, I'm a fan of him on this game, I've got to say this is a bit low. So yeah, I think on the ball and with the attacking awareness, slightly iffy. The passing is not too bad for centre forward. You'll get 70 for low pass with the game plan boost. Finishing at 88, that will hit 90 with your game plan boost. So 90 finishing is fantastic. And then heading 80. So yeah, he's got a bit of everything. A little bit iffy on the ball. And the attacking awareness I would like to be a bit higher. If you look at his skills, he has had more skills on his previous versions. I'll say that. Certainly the last one, that black and gold one that I've got, I think that's got aerial superiority and acrobatic finishing, if I'm not mistaken. With this guy, he does have heading, but there's no acrobatic finishing, no aerial superiority. But he has first-time shot. Crucial one for centre forward. He's got long range curler as well. One-touch pass helpful as well in the build-up. I think if you don't have a decent version of this guy, and if you're looking at options for the Mexican League Challenge, if you can spare the 5-star contract, I think he's decent. But I can't really say he's anything better than decent. I think for me to say he's anything better than that, to say he's a particularly good card, I'd need him to be a little bit better on the ball, and I want a bit more attacking awareness on him, because this is a 5-star player for a 5-star contract. Yes, he's okay. I think he will be good in the Mexican League Challenge, but this is all about what represents value for a 5-star contract. And ultimately, I think, if I'm brutally honest, this version of Henry Martin just isn't quite good enough for me to think he's good value for that 5-star contract. But if you do have the contracts to spare and you just want to pick up an option for your Mexican League squad, I certainly don't think he's bad. It's just a question of whether it's worth a 5-star contract. And as much as it's a decent card, I don't think it really is great value for a 5-star. So there you go, an interesting selection. There's a few decent ones in there. Like I say, looking at them all primarily as options for the Mexican League Challenge, I don't think any of these players are going to necessarily be viable options outside of the Mexican League Challenge and like divisions and things like that. You could say maybe Canales. I think he's definitely clearly the best player in this pack, but there's a few interesting ones. Certainly that Murillo with his pace looks like he could be a lot of fun to use. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, my reviews of the J-League pack and also the All-Rounders pack are already live in the channel, and I'm going to do another one after this one, just basically summarising all these packs and picking out which players I think are the best value for 3, 4 and 5-star contracts, and I'll look at the match pass players in that video as well. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you soon.